In this installment, we're going to go over the NBA bets for Friday, January 3rd. Let's get into it. Welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Chef D, and I'm here to bring you the winning ingredients for our NBA bet slate for Friday, January 3rd. But before we deep dive into that, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Make sure you follow me on Instagram and Twitter at MetsNetsJetsD. Don't forget about that TikTok at Chef_D91. And don't forget about that Patreon. Right now, we're at the homepage of the YouTube channel. Currently at 8.76 thousand subscribers. This is the road to 10K, and we're well on our way because you guys are showing up each and every single day. If you're already subscribed, continue to like and comment. That helps the YouTube algorithm so we can grow to a much broader audience. All right. Now, for Patreon, we had another dominant day here in college football. This was the parlay I gave out, the first parlay of the new year. I gave this out. All right. Obviously, the Notre Dame game was postponed, so this game moved over to Thursday. But Wednesday, we were locked and loaded and ready here. Arizona State plus 14.5. Ohio State with the money line. And then I moved over the line just a little bit, just for a little bit of safety here. Notre Dame plus 3.5. Notre Dame outright won. And obviously, I gave that play yesterday as well. Notre Dame on the money line, and they easily handled Georgia in that game, won by 13 points, and now they're going to face Penn State. But if you guys want winning plays, especially college football, we've been knocking it out on these playoff games. I already got my future. You still have an opportunity. I'm telling you right now, you still have an opportunity to find out the college football playoff champion and championship game. Okay, both of my plays are still alive, and they're playing very well right now. If you want to know who I think is going to win the college football playoff championship and who I think is going to be the matchup, you sign up right now in that Patreon link provided down below. Get connected. You're getting access to daily bets, future bets, and access to that group chat that goes off 24/7. I'm so excited to announce I have partnered with BetStamp and Sign Up Expert to provide you guys with an easier way to sign up with any sportsbook in your area. If you go to the link in the description down below, you will be directed to this page you see here. It automatically displays all available sportsbooks in your area plus their current promotions. For example, you could take the plays given in this video and apply it to any other sportsbooks you don't currently have and reap the rewards. Now let's get into the slate. First game up here in Little Caesars Arena, Detroit Pistons 15-18 going up against the Charlotte Hornets here 7-25. Looking at the current odds here, Pistons minus 275 at home as favorites with the comeback of the Hornets at a plus 230. Point spread at a 7.5. And total points set at 218.5. Full game public bet percentage here, 91% of the bets, 94% of the money on the side of Detroit Pistons. For the point spread, 67% of the bets, 65% of the money towards the Pistons to cover. And for the total points, 87% of the bets, 88% of the money towards the over 218.5. Now, injury report is going to be very important in this one because we are waiting on news about LaMelo Ball. All right, if you go to RotoWire, this is a very trusted website here for NBA lineups here. We are waiting on LaMelo Ball. Right now, he's a game time decision. Brandon Miller is a great game time decision. Trey Mann is out. Their sixth man has played phenomenal. Cody Martin, the brother of Caleb Martin, he's going to be game time decision. And Jeffries is a game time decision. All right. Only positive here for the Hornets is that Miles Bridges is back and playing for the team. On the side of the Detroit Pistons, Jaden Ivey had a horrific incident in the previous game. He's going to be out for probably the whole entire season. But definitely that's a loss for them. Obviously, the main key component for the Pistons is Cade Cunningham, and he's playing and he's fine, all right? But Jaden Ivey will be out for an extended period of time, all right? So looking at these two teams here, it's funny when you come in looking at these two teams and you're looking at the regular season. They already played twice, and for a team that struggled to win games in the Charlotte Hornets, they have beaten the Detroit Pistons twice already this season. So that is a accomplishment for them in itself. But the key component is we are waiting on LaMelo Ball, and this is a change of scenery here. Those first 2 games were in Charlotte. This game is in Detroit here, and we have both of these teams going in opposite directions here. Charlotte Hornets are in an 8-game losing streak as of right now, and the Detroit Pistons have won 4 out of their last 5, looking pretty solid. And the only loss was loss to a Denver team in Denver, but they really dominated that road trip that they had, and they're really hitting their stride right now, handling teams pretty well. Especially if you look at that road trip, beating Orlando by 9, beat Sacramento, beat the Lakers, beat Phoenix by 8. Those are very solid wins there on the road, and they come back home. This is definitely a revenge spot. I like the Pistons on the money line, all right? It comes down to the point spread, all right? If LaMelo Ball is out, I believe that the Detroit Pistons will cover that spread, and the total will go under 218. All right, and a half. If LaMelo Ball is in, I still got Pistons winning. The question mark will be the point spread, and I believe that the total will go over 218 and a half. All right. If LaMelo Ball is in, over 218 and a half. If LaMelo Ball is out, under 218 and a half. You got to wait for the news. But either way, how strong this Detroit team is playing right now, and the fact that they already lost to this Hornets team twice. Give me the Pistons money line, and either way, give me Pistons to cover the spread of 7.5. All right. Remember, LaMelo Ball is out. Take the under. If LaMelo Ball is in, take the over. In Scotiabank Arena here in Toronto, Raptors 8-26 going up against the Orlando Magic 20-15. Current odds for this one, we have the Magic as slight favorites, -115 with the comeback of the Raptors at a -105. Point spread is at a 1.5, and total points at 217.5. Public bet percentage here, 63% of the bets coming in on Orlando, but we have 77% of the money coming in on Toronto. Sharps are on the side of Toronto at home. For the point spread, 57% of the bets and 58% of the money towards Orlando to cover that 1.5. For the total points, 86% of the bets, 86% of the money, over 217.5. All right, looking at the injury report here for these two teams, both of them dealing with some major injuries. For the Orlando Magic, they're going to be without, obviously, Banchero's been out for a while. Gary Harris is going to be out, and Franz Wagner is going to be out as well. Both Wagner brothers are injured. So this Magic team here is dealing with a lot of backups. Jalen Suggs gets thrusted in here, and he's going to be more of the focal point of this offense. Tristan Da Silva, who stepped up, and Goga Batadze has been a very good backup center, and now starting now, and he's been performing very well due to all the injuries. All right, still a very solid team here in Orlando, despite the fact of all the injuries. On the side of Toronto, we're waiting on news about R.J. Barrett. Quickly is back. That's a positive note. He's been out for the majority of the season. They got Scotty Barnes back. They're just waiting on R.J. Barrett in this team. And that could finally turn around these Toronto Raptors, all right? They'll be having Quickly back with Scotty Barnes. You really need R.J. Barrett as well, one of their top scorers as well. He's played phenomenal this year, averaging 23, 6, and 6. So that does hurt. But Scotty Barnes being back, he's really the glue to the whole entire team. And these teams have not faced yet this season. All right. Toronto Raptors finally getting a big win against the the Brooklyn Nets, and a blowout winner there. So that was a big note. And then Orlando Magic, they lost to the Detroit Pistons, but they slightly beat the Brooklyn Nets there. Lost to New York, lost to Miami, and then somehow beat the Boston Celtics. All right. So Jekyll and Hyde team here for the Magic. And then Raptors are getting healthy kind of right at the right time, and they should be turning things around. I believe the value is going to be on the side of the Toronto Raptors here. So give me the plus 1.5 with the better team getting healthy right now. I think there's just too many injuries here for the Orlando Magic. Yes, They play tough basketball, but they're more of a home team. This team has a phenomenal home record. On the road, they have been absolutely putrid, and this is a perfect spot here for the Raptors to get right. Scotty Barnes is a major factor of my reasoning, and then Emmanuel quickly, very lethal three-point shooter and can put up points in bunches. I think that's just too much firepower here for the Toronto Raptors. Give me the Toronto Raptors on the money line. If you want to play it safe, take the +1.5. And I like the over in this game. I think there's going to be a lot of points in this one because despite the fact that the Raptors can definitely score, they have a little bit of a turnover problem here. And the Magic have a very good defense, 2nd overall in blocks and 5th in steals. I think they can create some opportunities and have this game go over the total 217.5. In Smoothie King Center here, we have the New Orleans Pelicans 5-29 going up against the Washington Wizards 6-25. Looking at the current odds, Pelicans at home are huge favorites, -300 here. With the comeback of the Wizards at a +230, point spread at a 7.5, total points at 232.5. So very high total here in this one. Both of these teams do not play any defense and have a high pace. Okay, so for the full game public bet percentage, 90% of the bets, 75% of the money coming in on New Orleans for the point spread. We have 58% of the bets, 58% of the money on the side of Washington to cover this 7.5. So this is a pretty big number here for both of these teams. Don't have 10 wins yet this year. Both have struggled, and this is a very high point spread, but this is set at at this number for a reason. Okay, the total points, 82% of the bets, 81% of the money towards the over 232.5. Looking at the injury report, all right, we got some major injuries here on both sides. Washington going to be without Marvin Bagley, Sadiq Bey, and Bilal Coulibaly. He's going to be out as well. So this is a team here that no Kyle Kuzma as well. Don't forget about that. And this team has struggled mightily this entire season. All right, very poor performances all year long from the Washington Wizards here. Same thing that goes for the New Orleans Pelicans, but it's just more of a disappointment because this team still has talent, despite the fact that they're missing Brandon Ingram and no Zion Williamson. All right, this team still has DeJounte Murray, still has CJ McCollum. Herbert Jones is their 3-and-D guy, and Trey Murphy has stepped up as a lethal threat from the 3-point range as well. Positive news as well for New Orleans Pelicans. They get Jose Alvarado back, their 6th man and their high energy guy. So that's going to be a positive for them, especially when they go to the bench. Alvarado brings very quality minutes to the team when he comes in. So that is a big plus for him to come back. All right. Now, I'm not going to go against Las Vegas here or Vegas period with this line setting. All right. If you want to get cute and take the Washington Wizards with the +7.5 points, that's on you. I do not trust the Wizards as far as I can throw them. The talent is clearly on the side of New Orleans. I like the fact that they're getting their 6th man back in Jose Alvarado. And I'm going to lean on CJ McCollum and DeJounte Murray to get things right against this poor defensive team here. They should have a field day going up against no defense when we're talking about the Washington Wizards there. So this is going to be a complete sweep here. Giving the Pelicans on a money line, giving the Pelicans to cover the 7.5, and I like the over 232.5. Pelicans going to be up big, and the Wizards going to have to be forced to play catch up, and I like the over on the 232.5 in this one. Pelicans finally get a solid win at home. In Toyota Center here, we have the Houston Rockets 22-11 going up against the Boston Celtics 25-9. West versus East in this matchup here. And the Celtics are road favorites, -135 on the money line with the comeback of the Rockets at a +110. Point spread set at 1.5. And the total points set at 220.5. All right, public bet percentage here, 80% of the bets, 96% of the money all over the Celtics. For the point spread, 75% of the bets, 72% of the money on Boston to cover the 1.5. And for the total at 220, 93% of the bets, 94% of the money towards the over 220.5. All right, injury report here for both teams. Boston Celtics, we are waiting on news about Jaylen Brown and Kristaps Porzingis. Remember, this team here in the Celtics are on a back-to-back. They beat the Minnesota Timberwolves last night without both of these guys in the lineup. So maybe they will just rest. They might be back in this one here against Houston, all right? And that will be obviously a big boost going up against the Houston Rockets, all right? Rockets dealing with the suspension there in Amen Thompson. What he did to Tyler Hero, he's going to be out of this game here. You got a game time decision on Tariq Eason. All right. So the key component here between these two teams, I think the Celtics are not saying they're Jekyll and Hyde, but they are not as dominant as they were last season. But the edge here in this particular game here, the reason why I'm leaning towards the Celtics, two key categories: free throw percentage. Rockets have struggled this year. They're 24th in the league. And then the Boston Celtics are top 10. They're 8th. And then three-point percentage, all right? If you want to keep up pace, you either have to play defense or outshoot the Celtics. And if the threes are falling for the Celtics, you are in absolute trouble, all right? As you can see, Celtics are 12th in the league percentage, and the Rockets are almost near dead last, 29th in the league at three-point percentage, and that's a big discrepancy there in free throws and three-point percentage. I think that on this road trip, they're trying to get things right. If we get Jaylen Brown and Kristaps Porzingis back, that's a big boost to the Celtics as well. They had a very solid win over Minnesota, who's trying to turn it around and get things right, and that was a big win without Jaylen Brown and Kristaps Porzingis. I think they'll be fine in this position here against the Houston Rockets. And we're going to go with a clean sweep here for the better team here in the Celtics. All right, give me the Celtics on the money line. Celtics to cover the 1.5. In this game, I think there's going to be a shootout, back and forth type of environment. And it's going to force the Rockets to chuck up some threes. All right, so give me the over 220.5. In American Airlines Center here, Dallas Mavericks 20-14, going against the Cleveland Cavaliers 29-4. Looking at the odds for this one, Cavaliers road favorites -275 on the money line with the comeback on the Mavericks at a +230. Point spread at a 7.5. Total points at 232.5. All right. For the public bet percentage here, 93% of the bets, 98% of the money towards the Cavaliers. Very heavily on the Cavaliers side here that the public and sharps are. For the point spread, 79% of the bets and money towards the side of the Cavaliers to cover the 7.5. And for the total points, 81% of the bets, 83% of the money towards the over 232.5. All right. Injury report here for these two teams. Travers is going to be out, and Sam Merrill is a game time decision. We're waiting on news about Isaac Okoro. He might be back in this game as well. Dallas Mavericks, we already know they will be without Luka Doncic for an extended period of time. PJ Washington, all right, wait on news about him. He's currently a game time decision. But the core here for the Dallas Mavericks is Dinwiddie, Irving, Klay Thompson, and the fact that they have elite centers there defensively with Derek Lively. All right. So looking at this matchup here between these two teams, obviously Cleveland Cavaliers have been one of the hotter teams in the league. They're playing like Boston did last season, and the Cavaliers are currently on an 8-game winning streak, and right now they're on the road dominating. They took over Denver 149-135. That was a double-digit win. They beat Golden State double digits on the road as well. And they just beat the LA Lakers on the road double digits as well. So you're coming in this one is like everyone's smashing the 7.5. But this total is a little bit, well, the point spread is a little bit lower than usual, especially since the fact that the Dallas Mavericks are without Luka Doncic, all right? So now, looking at the Mavericks, they're coming off a road trip there. They finished horribly against Portland, Sacramento, and Houston, all right? 3 straight losses in a row, and then they're coming back home to Dallas here against the top team in the NBA in the Cleveland Cavaliers, all right? Now, the value on this side will be with the Dallas Mavericks, all right? Dallas Mavericks defensively can put up enough here and score enough here to mitigate the Cleveland Cavaliers from a complete blowout, all right? And this 7.5 is very juicy here for me. Obviously, Cavaliers have been fantastic field goal percentage and assist to turnover ratio. They are very efficient offense here, but the Dallas Mavericks have very good lockdown defense. Luka Doncic being out doesn't hurt that at all. Luka Doncic does not play any defense at all. And the fact that this defense plays a little bit stronger here with him out, all right? So looking at blocks, Looking at the rebounds here is going to be very key for the Dallas Mavericks in this point to definitely slow down the Cleveland Cavaliers. All right, so we're going to play it this way. We're going to go against the grain. I don't think the Mavericks win the game. Not at all. All right, I like the Cavaliers to get this win, and go to a 9-game winning streak. But this game is going to be tougher than the rest on their road trip. All right, you would think that the other games were tougher against the Denver Nuggets, against Golden State, or even the LA Lakers here. But now you're coming in, you might be taking advantage. You think you're taking advantage of the Dallas Mavericks here, but this team here in Jason Kidd, what they have defensively is very dangerous. So give me the plus 7.5 on the Dallas Mavericks, and give me the under 232.5. All right, this is going to be a hard, tough battle here for the Cavaliers, and they're going to earn this win, but the value is on the side of the Mavericks. All right, so give me the plus 7.5 on the point spread and the under 232 in the total points. In Ball Arena here, we have the Denver Nuggets 19-13 going up against the San Antonio Spurs 17-16. Looking at the current odds, Nuggets on the money line minus 275. Spurs with the comeback at a plus 220. Point spread set at 6.5. Total points set at 237.5. All right, full game public bet percentage here, 96% of the bets, 81% of the money on the side of the Nuggets. For the point spread, 59% of the bets, 55% of the money on the side of the Nuggets. And for the total points, 78% of the bets, 85% of the money towards the over 237.5. Looking at the injury report here for these two teams, Jeremy Sochan will be out of this game. And for the Denver Nuggets, Aaron Gordon and Vlatko Cantor will be out of this game as of right now. So it has been a positive note for the Denver Nuggets if we're looking at their starting lineup, that Russell Westbrook has been thrusted into the starting lineup now. And they really have two guys that can that are really unselfish and facilitate the basketball, and Russell Westbrook and Nikola Jokic. This team, since they made that move, has been very good and has been more efficient here running their offense. Jamal Murray has moved down to the shooting guard position, but we'll see what happens when Aaron Gordon comes back and how they it's probably most likely Russell Westbrook will go back to going to that bench role. All right, but as of right now, this team has played very efficiently with Russell Westbrook in the starting lineup. All right, and these numbers there are big discrepancies here. Denver Nuggets, a very good home team, 10-5, and if we're looking at the San Antonio Spurs, they have struggled mightily on the road. They're 5-9. This team here and the Spurs are a much better home team. That's when you can take advantage of them. If we're talking about going up against a top tier offensive team in the Denver Nuggets, it becomes a big question mark. Assist to turnover ratio here with the Denver Nuggets, number 2 in the league. Looking at the field goal percentage, that's a big discrepancy. Number 2 in the league compared to 21st in the San Antonio Spurs. They struggle to orchestrate their offense. It is easy for the Denver Nuggets to get points. If we're looking at the 3-point percentage, another bonus to the side of the Denver Nuggets. They're efficient. They can knock down threes. They have a very high field goal percentage. And they have 2 facilitators that create opportunities for their teammates in Jokic and Westbrook. It's very, very good efficiently. And if you thought that the Spurs could take advantage of the rebound department, they can't, because they're right behind them. There's 2 top 10 teams in the rebound department. So this is just too much for me here. I think this is going to be a clean sweep for the side of the Denver Nuggets. Efficiency, rebounding, the way they run their offense. Spurs struggle offensively, especially on the road. This is going to be Nuggets on the money line. Nuggets to cover the 6.5. And for that total of 237.5, I like the over in this game at 237.5 with the Nuggets covering. I think they're going to be scoring at a very high clip and force the Spurs to play some catch-up basketball. In Golden One Center here, we have the Sacramento Kings 15-19 going against the Memphis Grizzlies 23-11. Looking at the current odds, Kings on the money line minus 160 with the comeback of the Grizzlies at a plus 135. Point spread at a 3.5, and the total points at 239.5. Full game public bet percentage here, 72% of the bets, 67% of the money on the Kings. For the point spread, 58% of the bets, 61% of the money on the Memphis Grizzlies to cover. And for the total points, we have 65% of the bets and 63% of the money on the under 239.5. Looking at the injury report here, The Grizzlies are absolutely decimated here. Looking at the injury report, Aldama is out. G.G. Jackson is out. John Moran is out. Marcus Smart is out. And V. Williams is out as well. We're waiting on news about Zach Edey and Brandon Clark. Both of those guys are game time decisions. And bench guy LaRavia is a game time decision as well. The only injury there on the side of the Sacramento Kings will be Keegan Murray. He's currently a game time decision. So definitely wait on news about him if he's going to be in or out. But there's a ton of injuries on the side of Memphis. If we're looking at the previous matchup between these two teams, Memphis was able to get a 5-point win in Memphis against the Sacramento Kings. And this game is in Sacramento here. And since the coaching change of the Sacramento Kings from Mike Brown to Doug Christie, this team here has stepped up defensively, all right? The Kings have finally focused on the defensive side of the basketball here and only allowed 100 points to Dallas and 107 against Philadelphia. They really locked down against the 76ers in their last 4 minutes for them to be able to come back and get a win and win by 6 points in that one, all right? So defensively, it's been very, very important here with the Sacramento Kings with Doug Christie as the head coach. I like the Kings in this spot here, taking advantage of the very injured, plagued Grizzlies here. Give me the Kings on the money line. Kings to cover the 3.5 as well. And I like the under 239.5. This is a big, very big total, way too big here for the amount of talent that is gone from the Grizzlies. And I like the fact that the Kings have stepped up defensively. In Crypto.com arena, we have the LA Lakers 19-14 going against the Atlanta Hawks here 18-16. Looking at the current odds here, Lakers are home favorites -135 on the money line, with the comeback of the Hawks at a +110. Point spread at a 2.5 and total points at 231.5. Full game public bet percentage here, 88% of the bets, 65% of the money on the side of the Lakers. For the point spread, 56% of the bets, 53% of the money on the Lakers to cover the 2.5. And for the total points, 89% of the bets, 82% of the money on towards the over 231.5. All right. Looking at the injury report here for these two teams, we are waiting on news for the Atlanta Hawks side about Jalen Johnson and about Trae Young and Bogdanovich. All right, so three guys here, very important guys here for the Atlanta Hawks that are currently questionable right now. You gotta wait on news for this one here, but what we're seeing from the line movement here went from 3.5 to 2.5. So the line is moving towards the side of the Atlanta Hawks as well. That could be positive news there in the injury department for Trae Young, Jalen Johnson, or Bogdanovich. All right. Lakers, we're waiting on news about Anthony Davis. They were without him in the previous game, and the Lakers did beat the Portland Trailblazers last night by 8. All right. So this is a back-to-back here for the Lakers. And then the Hawks did beat the Los Angeles Lakers in overtime in December by 2 points. All right. So that total was 266. That went into overtime here, and they have the total in this game at 231. Question mark on the over-under. I do still think that this is going to be another over type of environment here. We got to wait on news about Trae Young and Jalen Johnson. I need both of those guys in. Waiting on news, I'm still going to be on the side of the Atlanta Hawks, okay? So right now, take the Hawks at the +2.5. If you can still get a 3 or 3.5, take that right now. But we're still waiting on news about those two players. If they get confirmed in, this line is going to jump. It might become a pick'em, all right? So as of right now, take the advantage of the +2.5, +3 if you can find a 3. If it is confirmed that Trae Young and Jalen Johnson are in, that line will move closer to a 1.5 or even a pick'em. All right. But I'm going to be on the side of the Atlanta Hawks here. Got a second game of a back-to-back for the Lakers. They might be sitting LeBron. They might be sitting AD again in this one. We're not 100% sure. This one is definitely got to watch the injury report, but I'm still leaning on the underdog here in the Atlanta Hawks, all right? Love the 2.5 in this spot. I think these two teams are going to be going back and forth in this particular game, all right? Now, if you wanted information on my play for the New York Knicks and Oklahoma City Thunder, that's going to be, I'm going to post it down below in the description as well. And if you guys want to sign up for the Patreon, that's down below as well. So you'll see the New York Knicks and OKC Thunder play, and you'll see my link to the Patreon. If you want to have access to the Patreon, you're getting access to daily bets, future bets, and access to that group chat that goes off 24/7. This is your boy Chef D. I'll be back very soon, and peace out.